Hello, madam, I have a complaint.
What happened to you?
I had a neighbor dispute with my property, madam.
Have you heard of the case of Om Prakash v. State of Haryana?
No, I haven't. What was that about?
Well, it was a case that came before the Supreme Court of India in 1999. It was about a farmer named Om Prakash who had a dispute with his neighbor over the ownership of a piece of land.
Okay, and what happened in the case?
According to the facts of the case, one day the neighbor and several other people attacked Om Prakash with sticks and iron rods. In order to defend himself, Om Prakash used a sickle and caused injuries to the neighbor, who later died.
Oh wow. That sounds like a serious case.
It was. The trial court convicted Om Prakash of murder and sentenced him to life imprisonment. But on appeal, the High Court of Punjab and Haryana set aside the conviction and acquitted Om Prakash, holding that he had acted in self-defense.
That makes sense. If he was being attacked, he had a right to defend himself.
Exactly. But the state of Haryana wasn't satisfied with the acquittal and appealed to the Supreme Court.
And what did the Supreme Court say?
The main issue before the Supreme Court was whether Om Prakash had a right to self-defense and whether his actions were justified. The Supreme Court held that a person has the right to use force in self-defense if there is an imminent threat of death or grievous bodily harm.
Okay, that makes sense.
The court also noted that it is not necessary for the accused to prove that there was actual danger to their life or limb, but it is sufficient if they had a reasonable apprehension of such danger.
So, in this case, did Om Prakash have a reasonable apprehension of danger?
Yes, the Supreme Court found that Om Prakash had a reasonable apprehension of danger and had used force only to defend himself against the attack by his neighbor and others. The court held that Om Prakash's actions were justified and that he had acted in self-defense.
That's good to know. It's important for people to be able to defend themselves if they're being attacked.
Absolutely. And this case helps to clarify the law around self-defense in India, so people know their rights if they're ever in a situation like Om Prakash's. It's important to note that the court considered the surrounding circumstances in determining whether the accused had a reasonable apprehension of danger.
Right, that's an important consideration. It's not always easy to tell if there is an imminent threat.
Exactly. And the court's decision in this case provides some guidance on how to assess whether someone acted in self-defense. Ultimately, the Supreme Court upheld the decision of the High Court, and Om Prakash was acquitted of the murder charge.
Well, that seems like a fair outcome. If he was defending himself, he shouldn't be punished for it.
Yes, exactly. And this case serves as an important precedent for future cases involving self-defense and the use of force.
Thank you for explaining the case to me. It's good to know that the law recognizes the right to self-defense in India and that the courts will consider the surrounding circumstances in determining whether someone acted in self-defense. It's also important to note that each case is unique and will be decided based on its own facts.